Okay, hello everyone, SBY818 here. You join me for round 2 of the FIA 2021 Manufacturer Series. So, I scored pretty well in round 1, so I'm feeling confident for round 2. I did set some pretty decent times in practice, but a couple of days before the race, we did see an update and some BOP changes come through. So for those who are unaware, BOP is balance of performance. This is the mechanic used by the game to even out car performance in each class to ensure level competition. And the latest update you can see gives a reduction in horsepower for the car that I'm going to be using, but also a big reduction in weight.
These trousers are so loose. I think I may need to buy a new belt.
Exactly, so having got rid of the equivalent of carrying around a full-grown Rottweiler, we shall see how much difference it makes. So race 2 is Lago Maggiore West, one of the fictional Gran Turismo tracks. Hard tyres only, fuel and tyre wear is still on, but there will be no need for me to stop. I'm hoping the reduction in tyre wear will help me towards the end of the race. So on to qualifying. You might hear as we go along sort of various clumps, clicks and other noises that mean I've accidentally left the mic on while I'm racing. It was accidental, but as you'll see, it ends up forming quite a key theme of this particular episode. So it's coming around here for the first lap of qualifying, following a guy in a Mazda, I believe it is, yeah. Just following about half a second, 3/4 of a second, I'm trying to get some slipstream. As you can see, it's not really working, and this is where I can see where the changes that have been made to the Alfa Romeo in terms of power are having an effect, because I'm not really able to keep up with lots of the other cars down the straight. Just skipping ahead to the end of the qualifying lap, and it's a 1:29 flat, which puts me in third. And just out-braking myself a little bit then, giving a bit of a punt to the Mazda. That's going to pretty much ruin this lap. This is how I ruined my final lap. So the first flying lap in qualifying ended up being fastest, and that ended up putting me in 9th place, which is not the end of the world, not great, but still only, as you can see, still only about a 1/4 of a second off pole. So it gives me some hope. Being in the middle of the pack is not really ideal, but we'll see how we get on. We're gonna see the standard, very dramatic introduction to the Manufacturer Series races now.
"2,000 years later."
Right, here we go. As I said, starting in 9th. Rolling start, lights out, and away we go. So looking ahead, I've got a Porsche ahead of me and a Porsche behind. So I'm trying to duck to the inside here and play it fairly safe into turn 1 with the cold tyres. Nice and easy through there, and then not so easy. Skidding the car around a bit, that's going to give me not the best exit down through turn 3 and onto this bit, which is pretty much, it is flat out all the way down to the hairpin right at the bottom of the track. So I'm going to try and keep up here. And this is again where you can see the issue we've got with the lack of power in the Alfa Romeo. Even though I'm in the slipstream, you need about to be within 3/4 of a second to be within the slipstream. I'm still getting dropped by the cars ahead of me and the cars behind me again. So I'm going to make up time in the corners, but down these straights, and there is quite a lot of straights on this track, or at least flat out sections, I'm going to struggle. So I'll skip ahead to lap 2. Again, I'm going to come under pressure. Fortunately, Danielle behind me is going to give me a bumper on, which is good. It was good to see sensible racing. I think they know if they try and get past me and start to battle, we're going to lose time to the cars ahead. And we want to try and stay with that pack, sort of 6th, 7th, 8th place if we can. I am still losing time, however. So not the greatest start, but still in 9th place. Try and hit the apex through this corner. And try and get to the outside for this one, but not that far to the outside, so capture a rear wheel on the grass. Just about managed to hold it. no real harm done, fortunately, apart from a little bit more lost time. But we'll come round here. Going to get a fairly good shot through this corner. It's where the Alpha sort of comes into its own in the faster corners. And down for the end of lap 2. So we're going to move ahead to midway through lap 3, hoping for something similar to happen, but as you can see, Daniel behind me has had enough of pushing me along, which is fair enough, I suppose. He's got to go for the overtake on the inside. I'm trying to brake late and out brake, but I can't hold it, and this is where I make a mistake really, because instead of trying to get back past with a good round out the corner, I've tried to push them along. All it's done is slow me down and let Jezza in his Jaguar just come storming through. Jaguar's got very good straight line speed, so losing 2 positions in the space of about a third of a lap there. You can see the time I gained back on the Jaguar coming through the corners, but there's just nowhere to get through, and I'm running wide, just pushing a little bit too hard. Yeah. Again, you can hear the frustration. So this is the end of lap 3. Short skip ahead now to the same position at the end of lap 4, and you can see the Jag runs wide this time. He's still got the pace to stay ahead, but I'm thinking now I could probably get a better run into the corner, brake a bit later, get down the inside and hopefully hold it and make the move, and I'll let my in-game inadvertent commentary take over from here. Indeed. So, all the way down to 16th place out of 19. Which is not where we want to be. Just holding it through that corner, you can see I'm still struggling a little bit. Head's gone a little bit at this point. The Mazda behind me is now pushing on. Again, I'm coming under pressure. Is he going to look to make the move up the inside? He is going to go for it, but I'm going to try and hold it, and I'm pretty sure I've got a bit of a tap there. Managed to keep it on the track on the outside. He's not going to get a penalty for that, I don't think, so that is going to lose me another place, but we do see a yellow flag up ahead, which means somebody somewhere has had a bit of an incident. You can see him there on the right. We will pass him and go back into 16th. The guy ahead of me now is the Mazda that was holding me up in qualifying a little bit. So, hoping I can get back past him fairly quickly, and this time a much cleaner move down into turn 1. Get it done for my first proper overtake of the race, really. Just holding on to the outside. So yeah, the recurring theme in this race is got the ability, the late braking ability, the cornering ability to get past other cars in the corners, but then they just sort of catch me up down the straight again. With the changes made to the car, it's not best suited to this track, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go a little bit defensive, just trying to hold slightly into the middle of the track. Just braking a little bit late though, that's going to allow him to get a run on me out the corner. And it's got the inside, which I didn't really defend in all honesty. So he runs back through into 15th. Need a track with more corners. There's too many straights, not enough corners. But head's just gone at this point, you can see it. Trying to push too hard. We've got plenty of time to settle down. There's still like 6 out of 18. Unfortunately, not much really happened. It stayed in the same position, losing a bit of time here and there. And skip all the way ahead to lap 15, so only a few laps from the end. And rumbling and mumbling to myself again. We're not quite hitting the corners right. And now we see the car behind me in 15th. So there's a fair way back. So the last few laps, there's plenty of time to catch up still with other people having incidents. So I just need to keep it calm and collected. Just deal with the pressure a little better. Well, to his credit, the guy behind me did wait for me, but that's the last thing I needed at that point. We had a pretty rubbish race all in all. So, still back down to 15th now. Somebody else has managed to get past after that incident. It's getting pretty fed up by this point, I'll be honest. So, 2.5 laps to go. There's not much chance of catching many people up here unless a couple of people sort of spin out or have some incidents while battling, which is perfectly possible the last couple of laps. Let's see how it goes, but for now we will go to the end, but let's begin the process early in terms of sitting down and figuring out what's gone wrong here. I mean, as I've said throughout, can't lay the entire blame on it, but the car clearly, with the change to power that was made, yes, it weighs less, but in terms of raw power down the straights, the car just isn't suited to this track. There's too many long, flat-out sections. But I can't really blame that overall. I wasn't that far off pace in qualifying. As we said earlier, it was only a quarter of a second. My fastest race lap, you can see there just at the bottom of the 1:29.1, and the fastest lap of the race is a 1:28.8. So the pace is there. Just not consistent at all. So I think that's the main thing to take away from this race. Obviously, just too many mistakes on my part. I did get that one punt into turn 1 that we did just see, but ultimately a lot of this has been me pushing too hard, trying to get back in touch with the people ahead of me and just making mistakes. If I'd have been happy to stick with 11th place when I've been passed to got down to 11th, I'd have been happy to stick with that pack. Plenty of time to go in the race. Probably would have been in with a chance of a decent finish, staying in with that group of racers, but that mistake was all down to me, and that was the main one. After that accident, when I sort of ran the Jaguar and span off, I lost my head a bit and had no hope of really catching up. Nonetheless, we'll stick with it for the last lap, see if we can gain any more places. The last lap is when people are going to be doing all their battling and trying to pass each other, so there's a good chance that we'll make up a couple of extra places as we go. Again, the guy in the Jag just running wide. I like that final corner on this track. A lot of people seem to have trouble with it and run wide onto the sort of the dirt and the paved section there. You can see now we've got what we were hoping for, a yellow flag up ahead. It's a guy in a BMW. He's been ghosted through by the Jaguar and then pops into existence again right in front of me, nowhere for me to go. Not a real loop past. As you know, I can't really make a run in the straight, but for some reason he decides just to move aside and just let me go. Maybe he'd had enough by that point as well. But you always race to the end, so we gain one more place back up to 14th, and we've got half a lap left to see if we can do anything else. Into the hairpin at the bottom of the final time. It's been quite nicely that time. Accelerate away up this back section for the final series of corners. Getting running wide. No need for that at this stage of the race. Try and keep it together. One corner to go. Bring this pretty much. Let's call it a nightmare. Let's bring this nightmare to an end. See, the leaders have already finished. Coming through to finish in 14th place. So, yeah, as I said, 14th. See the other Alpha finished in 11th, so not a great race for him either, just not really able to compete with the likes of the Jaguars, the Mercedes, the Aston Martins, the sort of cars you can see there. Incidentally, if you keep up with tech news and other sort of related nonsense, you might have seen this picture. The very popular and long-standing Disaster Girl meme has just sold as an NFT for almost $500,000. I think it goes to show that something good can eventually come from a complete mess, but I don't think there's much to take away from it here, in all honesty. And I think this pretty much sums it up. But anyway, hopefully this won't count for anything. It is the top 4 points finishes after 10 races in total of the season that are what count towards your total score. So we will hopefully be writing this one off at the end of the season anyway. Anyway, onwards and upwards to the next race, which will be at Fuji Speedway next week. So thank you once again for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourself despite the far from perfect racing this week. You can see here I've dropped down to 16th in the overall Alpha standings, lost a bit of driver rating as well, but nonetheless we will try again next week. So thank you very much again for watching. I hope you can join me next time. Bye bye.